Kieran here, and I am back today for another video. Now, I find myself when I am outreaching on veganism that there are so many points that I can raise and so many facts to highlight that I often struggle finding the time in face-to-face conversations to actually, raise these points. And so today this video is going to be that. I am going to be given 50 quickfire vegan facts and points centering around the ethics of eating animals, on the environmental impact of animal agriculture, as well as the benefits on human health and social health. So let's get started. Animals are sentient beings that have unique personalities. They are therefore a someone and not something. The only difference between the animals that you pet and the animals that you eat is your socially constructed perception of them. We have a lot more similarities to non-human animals than we do differences. There is no humane way to kill an animal that does not want to die. Cow's milk is made for baby cows. You are not lactose intolerant, you are just not a baby cow. The best way to protect sea life is to not eat sea life. You cannot call yourself an animal lover if you contribute towards the abuse, slaughter, consumption or exploitation of animals. 70 billion farmed animals are reared annually worldwide, and more than 6 million animals are killed for food every hour. In the dairy industry, female cows are artificially inseminated and then have their babies taken away from them immediately after birth so that the milk can be used for human consumption. After repeating this process several times, the mother is killed for meat anyway at around 5 years old, which is only a fraction of their 20-year natural lifespan. In the egg industry, because male chicks are technically useless in the production of eggs, they are often killed as soon as they are born. Now this is often carried out by dropping them into macerators in which they are ground up whilst fully conscious, or they are suffocated in bin bags. If an action has to be so desperately labelled as humane, it is not. If it was truly humane, you would not have to try so hard to prove it. Grass-fed or free-range does not hide the fact that animals are murdered unnecessarily. If we could not kill an animal ourselves, then why do we pay other people to kill them for us? Carnism, the belief that animals are lesser beings than humans and are therefore to be consumed or exploited, is related to other forms of oppression. Abusing animals and perceiving them as objects engenders a similar line of perception and abuse of other human beings. We cannot justify killing an animal as a humane action when we could not justify killing another human being as a humane action. Eating meat is by its very nature a violent action. There is no way that we can produce meat without violence. You do not have to see a non-human animal as equal to a human being. You just have to understand that their lives are more important than our selfishness. Our canines have absolutely nothing in comparison to the canines of carnivores, such as lions. In fact, gorillas and hippos have much larger canines than human beings, and yet they are still herbivores. Raising animals in cages and killing them in factories is no part of any natural food chain. The meat, egg and dairy industries profit from promoting these products, whereas vegans do not have any personal benefit from promoting a vegan lifestyle towards other people. Veganism, a lifestyle that aims to prevent the abuse, slaughter and exploitation of non-human animals, is the least extreme lifestyle. A compassionate individual understands that animals not only want to avoid pain, but they also want to live a life free of exploitation. If we can be vegan, then we have a moral responsibility to be so. Veganism is the absolute least that we can do for animal well-being. 91% of Amazon deforestation is a result of animal agriculture. Animal agriculture is responsible for 51% of greenhouse gas emissions. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of species extinction, ocean dead zones, water pollution, and habitat destruction. Animal agriculture covers 45% of the Earth's total landmass. At least 50% of grain is fed to farmed animals worldwide. 3/4 of the world's fisheries are exploited or depleted. We could be seeing fishless oceans by the year 2048. 2,500 gallons of water are needed to produce a single pound of beef. 1,000 gallons of water are needed to produce just 1 gallon of milk. We can produce 15 times the amount of protein on any given area of land by growing plants rather than cattle. A vegan diet requires 18 times less land, 1/6 of an acre, each year than a meat diet, saving 30 square foot of forested land every day. A vegan diet produces 50% less carbon dioxide than the meat diet, equating to 20 pounds of CO2 every day. A vegan diet requires 13 times less water compared to a meat diet, saving 1,100 gallons of water every day. I get my protein from where your protein gets its protein from. Veganism is not a diet. A diet suggests restriction, and vegan food is certainly not restrictive. Anything that you can eat, I can eat from plants. Vegans have significantly lower rates of heart disease, cancer, and cholesterol. Vegans tend to have cholesterol levels that are 35% lower than average diets. Animal products are high in heterocyclic amines, which are molecules that increase the risk of cancer. Since animal products have such high calorific content, it is easier to satisfy your hunger with fewer calories on a vegan diet. Almost 100% of Southeast Asians are lactose intolerant, whereas approximately 75% of people from African descent are lactose intolerant. If we redirected grain crops used for feeding farmed animals for human consumption, we would be able to feed over 10 billion people worldwide. 82% of starving children live in countries where food is fed to animals, which are then consumed by people in Western countries. Industrial farm and slaughterhouse workers are at greater risk of sustaining chronic injuries, developing mental conditions such as PTSD, as well as respiratory problems. It is possible, therefore, to say that veganism is equatable to both animal and human flourishing. Thank you for watching. I hope that this video has inspired you to do much further research on veganism. In future videos, I hope to discuss these subjects in much greater depth, where I can bring up much more research on the topic areas and highlight the benefits of veganism much greater than I have done in this video. And so until next time, goodbye.